Hey guys, review number 24. Unbelievable. Let's knock this thing out. These first few, got to draw your little sign graph and figure out, what you're looking for here. So I'll draw my number line or sign graph here on number 1, putting a -1 and a 4. Remember the number we plugged in all week was 100. If I plug in 100 here, it's positive, that's positive. Positive times positive is positive. So that means that's plus, that's minus, that's plus. Because it says I'm looking for less than, which is negative, my answer is going to be between -1 and 4. So my answer is everything between -1 and 4. Number 2, you got to factor first. So I'm going to say that's x plus 2, x minus 1 when I factor there. Then do the same thing. I'm drawing that little sign graph, putting in -2 and a +1. Plugging in 100 again, that's plus, that's plus, so that's going to be plus, minus, plus. This time I'm looking for greater than. It's greater than everywhere less than -2 over here. It's also greater than, bigger than the 1. So there's your answer for number 2. 3, same stuff. Move the 49 over first so I can factor it. When I factor, I get x plus 7 and x minus 7. Make sure you know how to factor, that's kind of important. Okay, so got -7, +7. Putting 100 in both of them again, that's plus, that's plus. So I get this. A lot of time, most of the time it's going to be that way. Not every time, but most of the time. So I'm looking for positive again, which is less than -7 and also greater than +7. Number 4, factor again. This is a lot of factoring. Man, I hope you're good at factoring. So it's going to be x minus, that one does not factor at all. So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to take my calculator and punch it in and see what the graph looks like. I thought it was going to factor when I moved that 6x over, but it doesn't, so let me punch it in. All right, so when I graphed it, it does cross the x-axis, and what happens if the graph is like this? It goes through -1.12 and also goes through 7.12. I did the second calc and did left bound, right bound, all that kind of stuff to find those real quick. And I'm looking for positive, so I'm gonna find out where it's positive here. And because the graph is above the x-axis here and above the x-axis there, and I'm looking for positive, that's where I'm gonna put that. Number 5, same deal. I'm gonna try to factor this one. X cubed minus 2x squared. Move everything over. Minus 5x plus 6. To factor this, I'm gonna try to make a list and see what happens. Factors of the last number or factors of the first. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Gonna graph it and see what happens. All right, crosses at -2. And you need to graph this on your calculator so you can see it. But I'm looking for where it's negative. It is negative where it's below the x-axis. It's below the x-axis from -infinity until it gets to 2. We'll put a bracket with the 2 because there's an equal sign on this one. It's also below the x-axis between 1 and 3. And you need to make sure that is true by doing your synthetic division, but it is definitely true. I'm going to punch in number 6 also and do the exact same thing. I got it punched in, check my zeros. This time it's positive. It is positive between -2 and -1. And also from 2 to forever. All right, number 7 has vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Remember, vertical is whatever makes the denominator 0. So I'm going to factor it. Actually, I can't factor it. So because I can't make the denominator 0, there is no vertical asymptote. Horizontal asymptote, look at the degree. This time the degree on the bottom is greater than the degree on the top, which means the horizontal asymptote is the y-axis, so y equals 0. Number 8 asks you for oblique or slant. To find that one, you have to divide. Put -3 in the box. Remember, you don't have to divide all the way. So your synthetic that far. Don't worry about the remainder. It's going to be y equals whatever you have down here. Because we started with x squared, my quotient is going to start with x plus 1. So there's the oblique or slant. Number 9 is going to ask you for everything and to graph it. Let's factor everything first. Remember the vertical, whatever makes the denominator 0, so x equals 0 and x equals -3. Horizontal, check your degree. Degree on the denominator is greater, so it's y equals 0. X-intercept, whatever makes your numerator 0, which is 0, but if I did that, well, first of all, those cancel, which means there's a hole at 0. Which means there can't be an x-intercept. So there's no x-intercept. Y-intercept, also none. So draw your asymptotes. 1, 0. 1 at -3. The horizontal asymptotes at y equals 0. And there's no intercepts, so we're going to punch it in the calculator and see what the graph looks like. So I'm going to punch, I get a curve here, and there's one mistake on the graph because there's a hole at 0, that means there cannot be a vertical asymptote at 0, so there's really not a vertical asymptote there, but there's a hole in the graph, so when you draw that graph, and you get to 0 right here, there's a hole there, and just finish your graph. Okay, 10 is the same kind of problem, so I'm going to factor again. I'll factor the numerator, x plus 3, x minus 1, factor the denominator, x plus 3, x plus 1, again, those cancels. Because it cancels, that means there's a hole at -3. There's a vertical at -1. Horizontal, the degrees were the same, so you do leading over leading, which is going to be 1, so it's y equals 1. Let's go ahead and graph those. The verticals at -1. Horizontals at y equals 1. X-intercept, so it makes the numerator 0. In this case, it'd be 1. The y-intercept, remember put zeros in for x's, correct your x's right there. That would leave -1, so the x-intercept is +1. Y-intercept is -1, which means I know the curve down here is going to do this. All I got to do is punch my calculator and figure out what's going to go on the other side. What'd you end up signing up for next year, Miss Ellie? What'd you end up signing up for next year? You did it, didn't you?
AP Stats.
Yeah.
And then I signed up for honors pre-cal.
Yeah.
But depending on how this is going right now.
Okay. I gotcha.
That may not.
There's the other curve, just found out on the calculator. So number 11, it's pretty quick. Got everything you need already. It says degree 5, so make sure you have 5 x's. 1 is a 0 of multiplicity 2. So 1 comes from x minus 1. Multiplicity 2 means it's squared. 0 has multiplicity 2, that's just x squared. And -1 has 0 of multiplicity 1. So just x plus 1. And all together there's 5 x's. That looks really good. Number 12, synthetic division. Put 2 in the box. Be careful for your zeros here. And here we go. Bring it down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. And remember, because we started with degree 5 when we started the problem, our quotient is going to start with degree 4. And the numbers on the bottom are just the coefficients. And you decrease your x by 1 as you go. There you go. 13 says describe the end behavior. Don't forget the gestures we did. This is it's even. It's even and negative, which means both ends go down. So we're gonna say that end goes down and that end goes down. That's all you got. Hope it helps. Do great. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.